So here is a case I'm discussing. She's a 39-year-old lady. She comes from Bangarpet in Karnataka. The husband and wife have been married for almost 15 years now. That's a long period. And they've been trying to conceive for 15 years. Her obstetric history, she gives history of 2 pregnancies. The first pregnancy was a spontaneous miscarriage wherein she got pregnant. The baby's heartbeat came but landed up in having a miscarriage around 12 weeks of pregnancy. The second pregnancy was an IVF conception in 2018. It was a chemical pregnancy. The scan did not show any pregnancy. She has irregular periods. Her cycles come once in 2 to 4 months and with prolonged bleeding. She's undergone some treatment cycles already. So the first pregnancy was a spontaneous. The second one, as I told, was an IVF. So during the IVF treatment, she landed up having the complication of IVF called as ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome. Well, yes, in 2015, it was a common occurrence wherein ovarian hyperstimulation, that is ovaries ballooning up to large sizes and causing trouble, was very common. So she had a bad experience during that time and she was averse to treatment for a very long time, and finally now she has mustered enough courage to proceed with the treatment. And at present she is 39 years old. When she came in to meet us, she was on day 24 of her cycle. The uterus was normal sized, the endometrial thickness was good. Both ovaries showed polycystic ovarian appearance with 26 to 27 follicles on one side and 14 to 15 on the other. We started a random start protocol of IVF for her. She responded quite well with almost 29 oocytes. So you can see that the number of oocytes are quite high. This is also because of the polycystic ovarian nature. But since now we know how to avoid ovarian hyperstimulation by segmentation of IVF, wherein we go ahead with an antac protocol, we go ahead with the agonist trigger, and post-agonist trigger, once the pickup is done, we use medications that avoid ovarian hyperstimulation like cabergoline, antac injections. And this time her post-pickup period was quite smooth and she was quite happy that she did not have any problem during the post-pickup period. She formed about 29 oocytes. Her embryological record shows that she formed 5 embryos. Now if you see, the number of embryos seem to be lesser, much lesser than the number of oocytes. This is a common occurrence in women with polycystic ovaries because in PCO women, when we stimulate the ovaries, there will be varying sizes of follicles. There will be a set of follicles which are ripe and mature, and there will be something called as intermediate follicles which are neither ripe nor immature and land up giving immature oocytes when we do a pickup. So when she underwent a pickup, she had around 12 M2 oocytes and she formed about 5 good day 5 blastocyst embryos. So we had frozen 2 embryo in one straw, 2 in the second, and 1 of the embryo on day 6, that is, which was of a conventional insemination. Now post the IVF, we gave her a cycle of break wherein the ovaries came back to normal size and shape, and then we went ahead with HRT to prepare her endometrium and then transfer 2 blastocysts. Now with transfer of 2 blastocysts, she has conceived with a beta HCG of 687, and at present she is in her 14 weeks with good outcome and a good cervical length. The take-home points of this particular cycle is the fact that in polycystic ovarian syndrome, it's extremely important to avoid ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome. So the choice of trigger, the choice of stimulation, and the choice of medications post pickup are very, very vital and important, and that period has to be carefully monitored to avoid OHSS. The second important factor here is, in spite of the fact that she is 39 bordering 40 years of age, she conceived in the very first transfer. This possibly is because in polycystic ovaries, as I have been telling, in women who are after 35, the quantity and quality suffers. But when a lady has polycystic ovaries, the quantity, the more number of eggs in advanced age group can compensate for the poor quality. So in spite of the fact that she was 39 or bordering 40 at the time of pickup, the higher number of eggs gave us good blastocysts for freezing, and that resulted in a healthy pregnancy. So yes, polycystic ovaries can be easily managed, and it can be an advantageous situation, especially in women in their advanced age group, and higher quantity can compensate for a poor quality in that age group. And yes, ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome in the current era can be easily prevented for adequate and skilled management of the IVF.